For playing amazing music, Angelique. So fun.
So let's just like see who's here before we start sharing the screen so we can have a look at everybody. Hi players, Louise, Anna, Victoria, Jazz, Cherie. And so we might have some other people join as well. So started the recording. Welcome everybody. Ellen and I want to review and present the game that we just played. And this game is called Creating from Best Case Scenarios. And this game was launched during the Corona crisis. And the background of the game was that when we actually, when everything was pro-Corona, pro-lockdown, we had two games launched. One was the Business Vortex and another one was the relationship game, because people were really, they were quite focused on different goals. And then of course, when the lockdown happened, we just felt that it was wrong to launch those two games, because like, how can you think of deliberate creation when it felt like the world was going berserk? Like nothing was predictable anymore. Everybody was triggered. Everybody was just fearful. And, you know, Ellen and I were just, you know, because I think a lot of people doing this energy work were very empathetic. We're very like sponges. We were feeling the disturbance in the field, disturbance in the force. We're feeling triggered all the time. And because of that, we thought we cannot launch the games that we had. So we had to create a new game. And the way that Ellen and I work, and you'll see it in the sales page, is we work from downloads, meaning it doesn't come from our head, it comes to us. And so I literally had no clue what we were going to do. I was stuck. I was like, I don't know, there's nothing coming, you know? So, and then one day I said to Ellen, I think it's coming today. And I literally had a pen, and I knew it was coming, and I wrote down creating best case scenarios. And then I thought, no, it's creating from the best case scenarios. And I said to Ellen, I don't know what we're going to do, but this is what we're going to do. And then that same day, we just trusted, because Ellen and I have a lot of synchronicities that happened in our lives that really were about trusting the downloads. And then when we just said, okay, it sounds good, it feels good, we're going to launch the game, and we're going to trust the field to give us more clues. And so at that same day, another amazing synchronicity happened. One of our friends, who is really never ever calls me, called me out of the blue, and she's a future life progression therapist. And she told me, after we spoke about the app that we were testing, I told her about the new game, and she said, I actually work with best case scenarios. So that was a huge synchronicity, and that was our big sign that the divine wants us to work with this concept. The thing was that Ellen and I really didn't have any material, we didn't have books, right? So we really had to make it up as we went along. But we were like channeling, like downloading, this is what we need to study, this is what we need to study. So we designed a game that was really targeted for creating in times of uncertainty, and we would almost say crisis. And so one of the biggest things that we had to do is we needed to take people away from fear and away from the mass consciousness, which was only focused on worst case scenario, meaning doom and gloom, we're all gonna die, recession is gonna happen. You know, there were so many things happening that were very, you know, we were all watching the news, right? Day and night. We just didn't know what was gonna happen. And so we all had to be very, without wanting to be, we're all like being fearful. And of course, we also had to think about hoarding, buying toilet paper. I was trying to stay calm, but I was really triggered. Like I would sometimes go berserk, like thinking about people dying. Like I was thinking about people I love dying, and I don't care about that for myself, because I really know where I'm going. It's going to be amazing when I transition. And that's like a really firm belief that I have about my transitioning, but I don't like saying goodbye to people prematurely, let's say. So I think all of us were being triggered. So, but when we launched the game, the goal of the game was, we got this download, creating from the best case scenarios. So that's what we're going to teach, but we need to teach it in a specific way. And so when we taught it, we were teaching people how to get out of the pendulums, the mass blocks of consciousness that were all about survival and scarcity and worst case scenario thinking. So people had to get out of that. And then we had to teach them to actually really tune into what we call their true identity, which is not the human part of them. And then we needed to teach them how to tune into infinite possibilities. And that in the infinite possibilities of the holographic universe, there is a best case scenario. And all we had to do was tune into that. And when we tuned into that, we needed to receive the guidance from it. And we call them downloads. So we taught them about intuition. We shared our own experience with downloads and intuition. And then people had to trust that. People had to practice that day by day. And so, yeah, I don't know what do you think was the outcome actually as the game progressed, Ellen, when you know, both of us, it was a complete new game. We never taught it before. It was just new for us as it was for them, right?
Yeah, the most important thing was of course the players and their shifts. And of course we shifted ourselves too. So we knew where we were when we started the game, which was being triggered by media and mass consciousness. So we've really felt mass consciousness. This is what we're being dragged into constantly by everyone we're speaking to. So yeah, it was also a little bit like, so what's going to happen? Because we've had really good results with the games before, but we knew this was going to be more of something we're doing for the world rather than for ourselves, which is like, how is that appealing to anyone? Like, do we even really care? Do we want to have a relationship or have
I want to create my stuff, you know, why do I need to save the world? But then we realize, wow, I can manifest my stuff, but if I don't save the world or help the world, it's gonna be not a nice world to live in. Yeah. So
and also realizing the power that we have together, and the field that we created was so strong. Rather than us doing it by ourselves, meditating and making the world a better place, we did it together, and this attractor field was bigger, so we had a way much bigger impact. And I think that resulted in impact in their lives as well, because that's just what happens. But that was not necessarily the intention. It was the best case scenario for the planet.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll walk people very quickly through the slides if they don't know what an appreciation game is, so that they know what it is. So that so I'm going to share the screen. Let's make sure that I'm sharing the screen. So I'm going to present the slides. View, present. Okay. So basically, this is a review of the game. So the next game is slightly different again, because I think we're in different times now. But what we're going to do is, and we already said why we created the best case scenario, and we're going to explain how very quickly what it was, and then we're going to go to the testimonies of the players, and then a very brief outline of the up and coming game. So basically, what is the appreciation game? So Abraham has a theory, and it's a very, very simple theory, and that is, if there is only one skill you would practice, it would be appreciation. And Abraham is a divine intelligence channeled by a woman called Esther Hicks. If you go to YouTube, you type in Abraham Hicks, any topic, you know, you can find any topic, let's say death, disease, pandemic, economy, Hitler, Napoleon Hill, sad, aliens, parallel lives, everything. Abraham knows everything. And and if you look at Esther, she's a really normal woman. She could never ever channel that type of wisdom. Like, I don't think she has that type of wisdom. She's channeling it. So, and actually, some of you know my story, but I was doing Abraham Hicks process without knowing I was doing Abraham Hicks processes, and I started manifesting everything within 6 months. And I just didn't know I was doing Abraham Hicks processes. But when I knew what I was doing, I started obsessively studying Abraham Hicks since, I think, 2007 or so. I started understanding I was studying Abraham Hicks, and then I became like a student of Abraham Hicks. But basically, Abraham said, if there's only one thing you need to learn, it's how to appreciate. And so Ellen and I then thought, wow, this is a bold claim. If there's only one skill you need to learn, and it's appreciation, we need to test this. So we did this pilot last year in July, and we had a lot of 40 people in a group and in a Facebook group, and it was so much fun. And basically there were no rules. You just had to appreciate 3 times a day for 68 seconds. That was it. And people just felt the shift. And again, that was because of the group. The 40 people just lifted each other up. And then when we progressed, I started getting downloads which said, you have so much material that you can synthesize so that people can actually understand appreciation much better. So with the knowledge that we both had, we started creating much more background towards the appreciation game. But the basics are very simple. The only thing you need to do in the appreciation game is you need to take 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening, and you need to appreciate 68 seconds, because there's leverage in pure thought of 68 seconds or even 17 seconds. But our recommendation is 68 seconds. So before you appreciate, you rate your scale of consciousness according to David Hawkins scale. So you rate how you feel. And then after the 68 seconds of appreciation, you rate again how you feel. And then the second thing you do, you need to post it in our group. And we have a network, a private forum where you need to post, because that is the accountability. And if you don't do it, like, you know, we had like rules, like if you don't do it for the 3 days in a row, or the third day you'll get thrown out, something like that. And you don't get your money back, because that's the accountability of the game. So people were really scared of doing that. So everybody was posting. And the most important thing is people were reading each other's posts, and they were really inspired by each other, because people started manifesting things, people started shifting relationships, people were sharing vulnerability about how sometimes it was hard to appreciate, but they still did it. And so people started really, like, everybody started getting to know each other. And so, but also when people started, for instance, in the business, money, and career vortex game, people started to manifest a lot of clients, like clients coming from nowhere, old clients coming back, new clients, deals coming from nowhere, people that had 0 revenue went to 14K revenue, people had jobs coming back to them. People, their relationships improved, even though they were doing their business game. They understood, well, I need to appreciate my relationship. So some people saved their marriage. Some people started shifting their spouses who were very depressed. So there were a lot of things happening that were like so uplifting. And this is why we believe that the appreciation game, the power is in the consciousness of the group and the commitment of the group to raise up the energy of everybody. And so we're going to go through basically what happens when we don't appreciate. So we found through synchronicity, because we couldn't find it, it was through synchronicity, we found this report called the Appreciative Heart. And in the Appreciative Heart, this is like, it says what happens when you appreciate, but this is what happens when you don't appreciate. You create from a state of survival. So you start acting according to the human laws and conditioning, which has nothing to do with universal laws. You are programmed by scarcity consciousness, which is everywhere. You know, a lot of our economic rules are based on scarcity. They're not based on the universal laws. You start running your business and your career with mindless driven actions that are all about strategy, all about marketing strategies, promotion strategies, sales strategies. They have nothing to do with consciousness, nothing to do with actually the divine wants you to create. And there's a severe ignorance of the levels of consciousness that really actually are the real source of success, or of people really being innovators and pioneers in their businesses. Also, people in the normal way, when they are not appreciating and they're not getting into heart and brain coherence, what happens is they start to ignore their guidance and intuition, because they're only in their mind, they're in their program, and they're just following other experts, but they're not hearing their own guidance. And then, of course, they get stuck in their own little identity, which is the saboteur consciousness, the victim consciousness. They have self-worth issues regarding their business or their relationships. And they also get hooked by the mass consciousness of the collective, which we call pendulums, just like the book Reality Transurfing. And these people then have all these like weird concepts about you need to work hard to be successful, but actually they work hard, but they're not getting the success. They work hard and harder thinking that that will lead to success, but it's really, they're not understanding the fundamental laws of the universe, which is you need to raise your vibration and your level of consciousness, and you need to learn the universal laws for you to actually start to create from a much more effortless flow. And so, of course, and all of us know this, subconscious is running us. So a lot of people are really struggling with the subconscious programs, but they sort of ignore it. So they know about the subconscious. Maybe they do a little bit of hypnotic affirmation here and there, but they're not really working with it. But And so what we designed in the appreciation game is a very cohesive program that tackles a lot of levels of consciousness. And so we offer a lot of alignment skills, a lot of theory, but a lot of fun practices, but we also work with energy. So when you do appreciate, what happens is, this is, you live in what Dr. Joe calls the state of creation. So when you are in the state of creation, you understand universal laws, so you need to study them. And that's what we do. We give you pieces of teachings every day. You live from the end result. So you focus on what we call the best case scenario for all, the whole world. You come from an abundance and prosperity consciousness, because the universe, the nature of the universe is abundant and prosperity. And you're every day breaking the habit of staying in lower levels of consciousness. You're really raising your level of consciousness because of the commitment that is required to be in the game. What happens is, when you are in appreciation, is you go into heart and brain coherence, which is something you can measure. And then what happens is, and this is in the appreciative heart, you go into a high state of functioning that is like super learning. Like, these people become intuitive. These people know answers. They get intuition. They manifest things. They basically think of people, and these people will contact them, or they think of an intention and the right people will feel it and they will contact them. So they become magnets. And it is because they are appreciating, and appreciation is not gratitude. In other webinars that you might have seen from us, we really explain that appreciation is increasing the value of something. And it doesn't matter what it is. So it could be something that's very so-called negative, or something that you resist, or something that you don't like. You're still going to appreciate it, because everything has value. And Abraham says is, when you go into appreciation, you are aligned with source. And when we're aligned with source, we are who we truly are. We're no longer operating from the identity of little human being. And so also, those of you who really understand law of attraction, it's not about, you don't attract what you want. You don't attract what you put on your vision board. You attract what you send out. And when we appreciate, no matter what, and we train this muscle, we become amazing, amazing people in terms of sending out amazing stuff into the quantum field. So when you look at what we did in appreciation game, we're just basically, I just wanted to really show like what type of worst case scenario thinking was out there in the collective. So we're thinking about ourselves, our immune system, the money, the governments, our businesses being at stake, life, freedom, the media, the news, the technology, everything, right? Everything was like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And I'm not prepared, and I don't know what to do. What should I do? And also, like, apart from that, you know, we were also really triggered by the dangers that were not only like around our life, but they were also around our livelihood and about the world economy. And about, you know, how are we gonna plan for our business? So it was a lot of stuff going on. So this is why this game that was called Creating from the Best Case Scenario was so important, because we started seeing that the best case scenario is like the opposite. And it was actually because we didn't know what we were doing. We just trusted that this was something that the divine gave us. And then we just made sure that we downloaded the right tools for our players to be able to tune into the best case scenario. And the biggest teaching that we kept reminding them of is that you need to be a vibrational match to what you want to create. Because if there's something that you desire and it's not coming to you, it always means the same thing. You are not a vibrational match to your own desire. So basically what we taught people was very simple. Instead of facing reality and just being in the matrix, we asked them to apply vision and to tune in, to imagine, or to tune in like you're tuning into a radio station, to tune in and also embody in your vibration the desired reality before it happens. And we were also warning them that because we're vibrational beings, we're going to be resonating to the mass consciousness that is a vibrational match to our fear, to our scarcity thinking, and to our, you know, to our doom and gloom. And so when this happened, we were actually telling people, you need to observe it, you need to recognize it, and you need to realign and tune into the best case scenario. So there were a lot of tools that people had to practice while the lockdown was going on, and every day we didn't know, you know, what was the next negative piece of news. One of the most negative toxic ways of thinking is catastrophic thinking and urgency. And we were teaching people just to really, through the appreciation process, to recognize these toxic ways of thinking and to get clarity through brain and heart coherence and to live in that state. And people were amazing. They caught themselves doing that. So the next skill sets were really about not just focusing on reality, because a lot of people face reality, they don't create reality. To create reality, you need to face what you want. So we reminded people all the time to tune in and to visualize, to imagine, and to dream about the best case scenario, to just imagine what would it be like. And also to really just believe and re-educate themselves of how imagination works. Imagination creates. Your imagination is God, according to Neville Goddard. So people had to understand what they were doing. We were also coming up with the teachings of Dolores Cannon. We gave them the teachings of, reality transurfing. Mike Dooley. So we brought in a lot of different teachers as well. So people were getting the same message over and over again from different teachers. So this was really very helpful for people. Also, when people are in survival, and we know this from neuroscience now, they stop believing in possibilities. So they don't believe in possibilities. They're feeling stuck and they feel triggered. And so we really had to do a lot of work to help them believe in infinite possibilities and to educate themselves in the theory of the divine matrix and the holographic universe. And that actually that theory teaches that all possibilities are already happening now. And that according to our level of consciousness, we can actually access or experience these different parallel realities. But if we don't believe in it, we're not a vibrational match, so it cannot come into our experience because we're not a cooperative component. So, and also the biggest thing was, of course, people didn't believe in themselves. And that is something that all of us are struggling with. So we needed to shift their identity in those weeks to actually really allow them to identify with the infinite aspects of self. So there was a lot of self-observation and self-awareness. So yeah, we have so this is it. That was it, actually. So we have a few players here. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Maybe Alan, you can go to finding some of our players that are happy to give some testimonials.
Yeah, the first one that pops into my mind is Jazz Binder. I don't know. Oh yeah, can you go back to the last slide, Angelique, just for Adi? Hey, Jazz.
Hey, ladies.
So we've, we'll show the last slide later. Hey, so we have 3 questions that we want to ask about your experience. So sort of like a little live session. So how did your energy and focus shift as you started playing the game during lockdown while the whole world was entering in a state of uncertainty and worry?
Okay, so when I first entered this game, I was just like, what shall I set for an intention apart? And I just went in there with absolutely no feeling. I thought, I'm just going to trust this process. And I thought the best case scenario would just come to me. And yeah, that's how I came in it. So by obviously doing the game, I was just always in a positive mode of energy.
Nice. And what were the new possibilities or changes you manifested because of the teachings and the daily assignments?
Yeah, so because I totally went into a game with just totally play mode and I had no idea what I'd manifest apart from, as I said before, but I wanted the best case scenario to come to me instead of me chasing. So I had quite a few breakthroughs. I had investment opportunities that came to me as a download. So I'm in the middle of obviously progressing with that. I had a breakthrough in my trading, which I've been trying to do for a good year now. So that for me was just the best thing that could have happened, because it's now obviously opened another investment opportunity. And it's just being really aware of my thoughts. I think that was the biggest shift that was happening to me without me realizing that I was so aware of my thoughts, and I just totally blocked all negative thoughts.
Wow, sounds amazing. I'm learning new things again. And what were the 2 things the appreciation game helped you realize / solidify as a new alignment skill and habit that were because of the setup of the game and the group working closely together?
Yeah, just the power of appreciating. That was a real breakthrough because that helped me align I mean, I know when I was watching the videos, there's a stage where I got so tired and I thought, oh my God, why can I not soak this information in? But I was actually going through shifts and I didn't realize. And at the time I was quite upset and thinking, oh, I'm missing out. But it was actually my breakthrough in just having more trust in myself. And that ultimately gave me my breakthrough in my trading.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. That's so awesome, right? You're like, I'm not doing good enough. And then turns out, oh wait, that was exactly what I needed.
Yeah, because at the beginning, I always knew like just let go of it, treat it as a game. And that's what I struggled with most. And when I didn't even realize I wasn't playing it as a game, that's when I got all my results.
Amazing, Jazz. Amazing. Because I realize I do, you know, a lot of the players here, they will recognize that you felt that you weren't making any shifts, that you were stuck, but that you actually realized that you were saying, actually, I feel stuck, but I know this is something I need to learn. Because you really wanted to take more action, but actually you started relaxing. You started doing less because you surrendered. And then it feels like that was your breakthrough because you couldn't do more. The only thing you could do was align.
Yeah.
And that is a vibrational thing. That's not an action thing. And that's not a trying to make it happen thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just so happy with the results. So thank you for everyone in the group that played with us, because I believe all our energies aligned together. And thank you to Angelique and Eleanor for actually producing the game.
Oh, thank you so much. We hope to see you in the next game. The next game is crazy. The downloads are like me and Ellen are shocked, like, really? That's what we need to do? It sounds so exciting. Yeah, it's very different. It's very different. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jazz.
I think, Cherie, if you're available already.
Hi guys. How are you? Nice to see you.
So same questions for you. Shall I just briefly read it out again? So how did your energy and focus shift as you started playing the game during all this time of uncertainty and worry?
That was definitely like weird, because I was actually I was just in my own reality, right? I was just playing this game and I just felt like nothing was really touching me. It was really amazing, actually. And that's why I'm always pro you guys, because I feel like, I study Kabbalah and stuff, and a lot of my friends do. So I've recommended it to my friends, because I felt like that the things that you did, the shifts that you made in me, weren't things that obviously you don't sort of know, but I connected so much more. I was able to actually be really consistent with everything because of, the whole energy of the group. So I just felt that I was really not in lockdown at all. I was manifesting. Things were just happening because we were just in our own little realm, in our group, and that energy was transforming to me. So it was really very powerful. From coming from someone who's a natural worrier, it really made me consistent that I wasn't in that realm at all. And
your identity shifted. You didn't see yourself as a person trying to study. You identified, I'm a creator.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I became a creator, much more a creator. I think it just all the information that you gave us and that consistent work that we were in just really made me go vroom and connect even more now to my Kabbalah. Actually, I feel like I'm hearing messages. I've just hear everything so differently now from doing this other work. And appreciation, like I used to do 3 appreciation every morning, like thank you, make it 3. But the 68 one, you really feel, I hadn't heard that before. Like you build leverage, right? You actually feel your vibration shift. So those little techniques and things that we learnt with you was just brilliant. It was brilliant. Yeah. Really helpful.
Yeah, we created our own utopia. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
I have no idea. And any new possibilities you manifested?
Yes, because I tell you what I did as well. We all know about writing down. Again, we know to write down, but what I really focused on was writing down every day. Pre-paving, we call it, right? Like, if I don't do it, I promise you my day is different. If I actually pre-pave how my day is going to go, it is a completely different thing. And I realize now that I have to do the writing, and I have to do these certain techniques that you bring in, that we need to do, and really that consistency and the dream factor. I don't know whether I'm going off the question, but you know, the dreaming is so imperative to how you want your day to go. Or you can even, you know, I've done it before by doing Abraham when we did it with Hildy, you know, originally, but you know, like thinking how you want something to go. So you want your husband or your boyfriend or something to do this way, but if you actually just pre-pave and decide that that's what he's going to do, it's incredible. It just is like magic. You know, you're not battling anything. I just think, okay, he's not going to do that, but you know what, I'm just going to write it down. I'm just going to believe this is going to happen. And then you just make it happen. And the dreaming, you know, really dreaming and going into your own space that this is what's going to happen. I mean, you know, Victoria's on my wall. I think Victoria's here in my bathroom, you know, that she was going to make this and she was going to go to her next level. And it's there on my wall, you know, and it was literally because you can just manifest everything. So
Because I know that you had a milestone in your business during lockdown, and Victoria too. Both of you had a milestone. Yeah, this is like unheard of, because you couldn't even get out of the door, right? Really?
Yeah. No, I did the best business in 1 month. It was huge. Yeah. And I didn't even really do anything, because that's the whole point with Abraham, isn't it? That we learn is Abraham, you know, a lot of people, I say to people when I'm talking about Abraham, we studied Abraham. Like people say, oh, I know Abraham, but I knew Abraham, but I knew of Abraham, but to study Abraham is just genius.
To apply it, it's not just study it. Is what the appreciation game is about. Is an accountability game in a group setting where you actually go from knowing, I know it, to doing it, and then becoming it. And that's it. We shift from everybody knows it, but not everybody's doing it. Like 99.99% is not doing it. You know, that's why we created the game. And that's why the next game we're going to throw you out after 3 times not posting.
Yeah.
I'm going to be strict.
No, but it's good because you keep us in that consistency. It's like at school, isn't it? You know, you just get thrown in the naughty corner if you don't do it, you know, but it's so good because you really, you know, I'd be up at 1 a.m, 2 a.m.
Yes,
in the morning.
I know.
And I'd be like writing, you know, I think, oh, I've got to do my homework, otherwise I'm going to be thrown out. But it's so important to do it, because if you don't do it, then there's no point being in the game. You know, if you're not going to really do it properly, to me, there's just no point. Because the miracles and the things you'll see will be your eyes and ears, and you'll just awaken all your senses a little bit more than where they were before. It's not that they weren't there, but everything just becomes so much clearer. I listen to classes, Kabbalah classes now, and I really, really hear it, you know? So it awakened me and pushed me to do a different level, because I was so consistent with you guys and keeping that unity and, you know, all of us supporting each other. It's so important. It was great. Yeah, no, it was great. It was really good fun as well.
Amazing, Sherry. Amazing.
And we don't want anyone in the game who's not willing to do the work, because if you want to play the game, you play the game. So that's why we kick you out after 3 times, because we want to have results.
We're going to be much stricter.
Yes. So you just mentioned Victoria, so I would like to go on to Victoria, if you can.
Our bikini model, Victoria.
Our top bikini model.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
Where's your video?
Oh, isn't it on? 1 second.
No.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Just 1 second. Okay, talk to me. I'm ready.
Nice to see you. So the 3 questions for you too. So can you explain how your energy and focus shifted throughout the game during these times?
Yes, especially when we had to do those 3 times a day, when you have to notice how you feel. And for me, that was the biggest shift, because I didn't realize how often I jump into frustration and pride and other amazing qualities that take us so far from what we want. And it was the biggest revelation for me. So I was religiously writing them down, and then when I look at it, like, I was shocked, because every time before 68 seconds appreciating, I was always in very low vibrations most of the time. And it was for me the biggest shift. So, and that gave me realization that why I didn't have any energy, why nothing was happening into my life, and why I was attracting things I don't want in my life. So for me, it was huge, huge, absolutely huge.
Wow. So the simple things, not even the daily task, which can be quite lengthy, but that's amazing.
No, daily task as well, but because when Angelique was saying that some of the players were scared to be kicked out, it was me. I was so scared. Because I remember that word, Angelique said, if you're not going to do it, you're going to be kicked out. And for me, no matter how tired I was, I remember this and I always replied, but there was, again, accountability. That's what makes us so good, because you have to create a new habit. And in order for you to do it, you have to just get out of your comfort zone and do it no matter what. And that's what the game done to me and to all of us, because you do it consciously. You have to do it first few days and weeks, and then you can't imagine your life without that. That's how powerful and how quickly you can change.
Oh, beautiful.
And can you name some new possibilities? We know you have some exciting things that happened. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, it was really interesting because when the lockdown happened, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can do so many things now. And I started to think, okay, you have to call this person, which I haven't spoken to this girl in over a year. She moved to America now from London. And we started to do online fitness seminars. And then we started to work together on other business. And it just so many things have unfolded in the 2 months of lockdown.
Did you prepay? But you were playing the previous game with us, and you shifted so much.
Oh,
you started downloading, you started becoming intuitive, you stopped working hard. And then when the lockdown happened, you just like, oh, I'm still going to create. I'm not going to stop creating because of lockdown.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. And also because I think if not the first game before the lockdown, I would not listen to my intuition, because like Abraham Hicks does, and you teach us, first get excited and then start to act on your biggest, highest excitement. And now I realize I have really good intuition, but I would always ignore it. So I was like, okay, let me try and listen to this. And this was the best decision ever, because now when we do our meditation in the morning, I do pre-paving that. I write it down. Then after we finish, I'm so high. I'm like, let's do this and this and this. And it just flows.
Beautiful. And also during the first game, that was all about business. You actually gave us a testimonial that actually even your relationship with your spouse improved.
The reason why I've joined, you got me with the money and business. I'm like, I'm in. It's all about that what I want. So because it was appreciating game, so it was all about appreciating. And I remember even watching the video that you posted as a homework for appreciating what you have. If it's money, of course, for me it was all about money. So appreciate the money you have already. I'm like thinking, actually, I always have enough and more than enough. So I start to appreciate. But by appreciating this, I started to appreciate everything in my life. And then I look at my husband, because we are together for 19 years now. And we were divorcing almost every day. And I'm like, I have enough. And then I start to think, my God, I completely forgot how to appreciate him. And he is the closest person in my life. It was just so huge for me. And I started to think, okay, let me start to appreciate him. And then when the shift happened, hugely.
And you actually said that you stopped thinking about divorce.
Oh yeah.
You started realizing it was you.
Still not easy, but yes. Still.
You're gonna struggle in the next game. The next game is all about ourselves. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, I still want to go you know what, it's not me. You go and just, it's all your fault. And but even if I think like this, I start to laugh because I know it's not true. Because I know I can't blame it on anyone else anymore. So yes.
So powerful. What I love is that you also got a huge milestone in your business, and it was like synchronicities that happened very last minute. Literally, I think, because we're in the same anti-aging business.
Yes.
Victoria, I think one day before the so-called deadline of our business to reach a certain target, she was texting me, said, Angeli, can you help me get this goal? I need this goal. I need a target. I need to bridge this gap between this number and this number. It was quite a big number.
It was a big number, yes.
And you know what I told you? I said, align and let it go and don't worry about it and stop wanting it. Because if you're coming from a needy energy, you cannot have it. And I have no clue what you did, because I was like, okay, she's gonna reach the goal anyways, but she doesn't. You definitely are very impatient. And I thought, this is your lesson. You need to learn trusting and surrender and not being not being super impatient. And something happened. It happened within that little time. Like, I think in one day it happened for you. And that was
3 hours. 3 hours. Not one day, 3 hours, yes.
Amazing.
Because I was just thinking to myself, okay, why am I I'm very competitive. And when I do something, if there is a competition, if you have to win, oh my God, I'm there. I love it. It drives me a lot. So I'm thinking, okay, my goal was to get to this goal 3 months earlier. I had 3 months extra. Like, no, I'm not going to wait that long. So I had a few hours left until the end of this, until the end of the day, end of the month. And one of my partners, she's in America. So her day was just starting. And I said to her, how are you doing with it? And she needed to qualify as well. I mean, to get to the level to that qualification. I said, let's do it together. So what I did, I shifted from thinking about myself. I started to help her. So I said, let's do it this way. Let's just relax and think who we can help. And it just happened in 3 hours. Yes.
Amazing. That's so beautiful. Oh my God. That's so heartwarming. Yeah. So, but it was so good for me to see that during lockdown, 2 people that are in the same business as me had their milestone. That was like, to me, I was like, oh,
it was really powerful, and just shows again that everything literally is possible, but there's like fine line, because when I'm with I'm like a bulldog. I want to grab it and I want to like pull it to me now, not in months time now. So to let go and trust, I still have to kind of put myself there, but it's huge. It's very powerful. So yeah.
3 hours. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what were the 2 things the appreciation game helped you realize and solidify as a new alignment skill?
For me, it was compassion. I learned a new word.
Yeah, I remember compassion. I know, because your biggest thing is judgment, right? Kept you in pride. You were always judging other people who are not, basically not as like you switched on.
Because I'm always judging myself, because I always see how it can be better. So that's how I was treating my clients, because I just like thinking, I'm doing it for your own sake. You can get your results faster. I know it's going to work for you. Just hurry up. And the other thing was, so compassion was first one, and also it's appreciation. Yeah, appreciating in advance. So see what I want, and feel I already have it, and just feel like, be so appreciative. Because when we have something, there was a big for me realization, when we say thank you, when somebody gives us something, right? Something, okay, universe already given it to me, so I have to be appreciative for this. I already have it. And something shifted in my head, and I was like, oh my God, this is so powerful. So on that last 3 hours, I called my husband. I said, Alex, let's celebrate. He's like, what are we celebrating? I said, I qualified. He's like, already? I said, not yet, but help me. Let's fake it till we make it. So he comes home with a huge bouquet of flowers, with a beautiful bottle of wine, and he leaves me a note saying, congratulations, honey, on your qualification.
Oh my God.
And that gave me so much energy that I felt it so much that I'm already there, and it just happened. Yeah.
You know what you also said, because this is the second month. I will have to say to people that actually, Ellen and I created this avatar of our ideal client, and our ideal client is people like, like a Sherry, or people like, some of the people here who've been doing work for years. We're talking about going to every law of attraction, spiritual retreat, seminar. We have all the books. We know every teacher. And actually, Victoria is not our ideal client. She just came in, didn't even know who Abraham Hicks was. And it was so shocking to see your progress. And it was like, whoa, maybe she actually gets it more than other people. And we have to change our avatar because of you. because it's amazing what you did. And
Thank you.
We've talked about it a lot. We thought, oh, we have all this knowledge. People have to know all of this, otherwise they won't understand. And you walk in with a beginner's mind, and boom, you're like rocket speed up. We were like, what's going on?
But I think that's the trap. I think Victoria is in doing mode, and other people are in, I'm going to study. I'm not sure about this theory. It's not working for me because they just know it, right? They consume the book, they go to a retreat, they don't practice it. And then they say, oh, it's not working. And this is the thing. You are so consistent and you are so aligned with, this is what I'm going to get, that is why you're getting the results. Because you're all about doing an application.
No, because you made me like this, because you said you're going to kick me out if I'm not going to do it. So I had to be consistent. But at the beginning, I was like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. Why do I have to? And then like, they're going to kick me out. And that created a new consistency in me, very powerful. And when you taste something so good and you start to see results, why would you ever want to stop? Seriously, it's just first few weeks, because I had to do this. And then you start to feel different. You start to see things happen in your life and you're like, oh my God, this actually works. And this is it, at least for me. And I hope it's the same for others as well.
Amazing. And also this girl, you would think that she's a woman living in a material world, but she's super psychic. You're actually super psychic. I think you never knew that. And you were psychic, but you never acknowledged it, right?
I can feel it coming back. I used to be so psychic, it was scary, but I was actually scared of that, because I would get like a visual movies in my head with exactly what was going to happen, and it would happen in real life, either within a few minutes or a few weeks, exactly to the tiny, but I would completely ignore it because it was just so like, no, it's impossible. And I lost it many years ago, but I feel it's coming back soon. So watch out.
So beautiful. We love you, Victoria.
Oh, I love you too, girl. Seriously, it's amazing. And thank you so much, because life is beautiful, and I just want to keep going. Honestly, I want to see what I'm made of, because I'm sure that I'm just touching the surface, and just to see how much I can just create even better life, and not just for myself. So that's, yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for playing with us. So I'm so glad you want to keep playing, because I want to see.
I can't
wait. I was asking Angelique, hello, when are we starting again?
Next week. We're receiving the downloads now, because you know what we're doing in the morning. The morning meditations are free for everybody, so that you actually see what we're doing. But when you play the appreciation game, you have the accountability as well. But a lot of the stuff is coming through our morning meditations. But what we're going to do in the game is a further extension of what we do in the morning meditations, and that is going to shift us all, I'm sure. I'm so excited already.
Me too.
Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you so much.
Let's go to, if you can talk, Louise, please.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Great to be here.
You. So how did your energy and focus shift during this game?
It shifted a lot. I think one of the big things was that I came to fix myself, because I thought that I must be doing something wrong, and that's why everything wasn't working out as I thought it should do. And I had a big realization that I wasn't broken.
How boring, but it's great, right? You're like, oh, I'm actually not broken.
I just needed to spend a bit more energy appreciating everything, the good and the bad. And it felt wrong to appreciate bad things. And having been brought up that it was funny and clever to judge people and amusing, and to react emotionally in a negative way and have a bit of a drama, that was all a bit of programming. And having the period of lockdown, having the game during that period of lockdown where normality was taken away, has been the most amazing opportunity to have the time to focus on appreciation and to make the shifts necessary. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really love being part of the group. I just love everyone in the group so much. I just love seeing everybody here and listening to everyone's stories, because it makes it very easy to learn when we're all going through a similar process, and we all watched the same video one day, and everybody learned. It was only a short video, 15 minutes, and everybody learned something totally different from it. And that layer upon layer upon layer enables it to become part of your psyche, as opposed to something you're learning. It solidifies, so it becomes more and more part of you.
Yeah.
And then doing the energy work as a group, I loved. We did release technique, we had the musical therapy, lots of constellations, which was so fun. I just loved doing the constellations so much. And you know, to open your mouth and have no clue what's going to come out. It was just such fun. It was so exciting. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
We did the future life progression as well. I love the way the information was presented in such a concise and usable way, because as you said, Angelique, you didn't invent any of this information.
No, it's all out there for free.
However, a massive time and effort to collate it all, or time sitting quietly and downloading. So that it was, you know, drilled down into what we needed to use on a day-by-day basis. So that was really great. And yeah, having that daily focus during lockdown meant that I never got involved in any of the stuff in the media. You know, maybe you could say I stuck my head in my sand. I don't know, but I've just loved every day. It's been transformational. It's been the best period of my life.
So funny. Like, nobody has ever said lockdown was the best period in my life. sorry. We're not dishonoring the drama that's happening in the real world, but this feels like a different reality.
Saying, you know, I'm not dishonoring anything, but for me personally, having taken this time out of my very, very busy schedule, we've had the most perfect weather. I'm so blessed where I live. You know, my staff are all part of the same household, so they've been happy to stay here with me, and my energy, or our energy, our group's energy, must have really expanded into my team, because, you know, those guys haven't seen their family for 6 weeks, and there's been no drama, no unhappiness. We've all had the most lovely time, and I can't imagine what it would have been like a year ago when I had different staff and a different mindset. I think everyone would have been, you know, someone probably would have run away or had, you know, gone a bit nuts, but we've just all had a wonderful time, and we've all enjoyed our job and working hard, and it's been wonderful.
And yeah, beautiful. You also had something going on with business, right? Because you were actually in the free, I think you were in the 2-week free games when we were testing the format, and then you joined because, and you were super busy because you were traveling a lot. You had to go to competitions, you had to go to trainings. You were so busy. Sometimes, you know, you're like, sorry, I cannot even post because I'm so busy, but it was the free game, so we couldn't even throw you out. But it was even during the free game, you started manifesting things. You started manifesting deals. And then when the lockdown happened, I think because I was reading your post, you had this download for this new business idea, and then you really just had a new business venture during lockdown, you know? So you were just focusing on possibility all the time.
Yeah, totally focused on possibility. And I think also before that, I didn't see what I was doing as a feasible business. And even though other people had a business doing what I'm doing, I didn't have enough belief in myself and how to go about it. And then, you know, in the period since the end of the game, I have taken a lot of action, and things are really moving.
But I think that not believing in ourselves is such a normal thing for all of us, you know, and this is why I work with Ellen, because I told Ellen, we were celebrating last night the success of the next game already. And I was saying to Ellen, I'm so grateful for you, because you don't know how many amazing, crazy PowerPoints I have that I never monetized, you know? So it's just like, I'm Victoria, right? I have amazing ideas, but I delete them. I abort the ideas. And when you have accountability in a group, or you have a business partner, or you have us telling you, no, Louise, you're not a human being. You're an infinite creator. Like, and then you sort of like, suddenly you're just like, I'm an infinite creator. Look at all these other people. And you just started taking action. And it was, it was beautiful to see how it happened.
When I first started studying Abraham Hicks, I manifested things very easily. But because I didn't have the self-belief and the self-worth, then it just frightened me. And then, because I thought, well, I don't know, I didn't understand what I did and how I was doing it. It just was too weird. So, and then it stopped, and then I've been miserable that it stopped. So it was really, it's all been a bit of a weird thing. Whereas now, now I can manifest, and I'm comfortable manifesting, and I understand how it works now.
Yeah, because the thing is, we're not trying to inundate people, but it is about the levels of consciousness, and the levels of consciousness have to do with our habits, but also with our identity. So that's why every game we start with identity, because if people think they're a human being, they're not going to allow themselves to have that type of power and to exert that type of influence, because they feel guilty, they feel unworthy, they feel, who am I to like be successful, blah, 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 blah. And this is like, that's why week 1 is always about self-image. And then, you know, with the energy work as well, with all the shifts, we work with the attractor field, or the morphogenetic field of our little group, and we just amplify it. And so we're creating, you know, we actually have already celebrated the success of the next game. So Ellen and I just did that. We did a meditation with 3 songs, and we're just like dancing and partying. So that is the stuff that we actually teach our students. So Louise, it was so beautiful to have you. And again, you're so psychic as well, you know, with the constellations. We could see your brilliance. You were so often chosen for roles as source or best case scenario, and you were so intuitive all the time and so loving, and, you know, and you had so many shifts. And so the energy work is also something that we do, because normally we just had 1 class for the appreciation game that was like a teaching. But because of the lockdown, we thought, oh my God, we need the clearing work. We need to clear the energy, because everybody is like, and even we were like, so when we did the extra bonus classes, and we said we had guest teachers come in, we did energy clearing, we taught people new skills, we did a lot of energy work, and it was like so enjoyable, because sometimes you know something rationally, but when you do the energy work, you realize how much you shifted, because you start channeling infinite intelligence, right?
Yeah, I just loved it. I really loved it. All of it, absolutely all of it. But it was really wonderful to have had the time to have done it as well.
Yeah, that was beautiful. It was beautiful. Thank you so much, Louise. Thank you. So much fun to have you with us.
We have 2 more players that I would like to ask the 3 questions, and those are, I'll start with Anna. If you are here, you can put your camera on.
I just want to say it was Anna, her 2nd game. So you can see actually for some people it was the 1st game. So for Jas Binder it was the 1st game. But for Louise, it was her 1st game, but she played the 2 weeks game that was free before that. So she already had a preview. And Anna, for you, it was the 2nd game. So you actually had a head start.
Actually, I was in the first 7 day, so it was my second 28 day, but
Yeah.
my third game,
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've done it all basically with this.
No, no. What I was going to say is that because we played this business vortex first in January, I was already kind of with that, let's say, energy of appreciating. So I was kind of in let's say, Abraham's words, I was more in a high flying disc. But then this happened, and obviously first shock for everybody, etc. And immediately at work, I was furloughed. So basically, I couldn't work. So obviously, I couldn't go out. I couldn't work. So then this game started, and I just felt like that was a godsend. Give me something to do instead of kind of starting to feel sorry for myself or sleep all day. So there was so much content, so many things, I managed to keep, on time, accountable. It would be like, okay, we have a call at 9 on Monday. Okay. So I would be like, oh, I'm sleeping. No, let's be there, let's do everything. So like Louise was saying, for me, I did say it was the best time ever. It was like being on a boot camp. Like imagine Dr. Joe, the Dr. Joe thingy happened at the same time. So it was like a boot camp for 28 days. And it was funny because in the first 3 weeks, I felt that we were kind of, or first 2 weeks, we were working on the same, I felt. But then something shifted, and I think it's after, there's this thing about after 21 days, you actually manage to change your let's say, your neural networks or whatever. So whatever we were doing, by the third week, I felt I was in another level. And as Luis was saying, like while we were doing all this game, it was like I was in a different timeline already. So I wasn't engaging with anything regarding the lockdown or anything. I was quite happy. Yeah, lovely. So in terms of the possibilities of changes that I manifested, I noticed that I stopped entirely speaking about the past. And also negatively, I used to be like, oh yeah, but I realized that I had like some of these victim roles, because you tend to think that people are going to feel sorry for you and therefore treat you differently. But at the same time, I was like, I realized that obviously that wasn't empowering me as a person. So I realized until kind of after the game, someone did an interview on me, about kind of how I changed my life. And I realized the way I spoke about my life, it was like entirely different than I would have done probably 3 months earlier or obviously years earlier. So that was amazing. And also I realized that I was more present. I had this thing that, I could be like, you go multitasking and you're listening to all these things, reading all these things, doing social media, and you somewhere in this craziness, you're like falling asleep. So someone asks you, so what did Dr. Joe say? Huh? And I could be even in Dr. Joe, workshop. So all of a sudden, I was very present. I was able to, get, my summary of 20 things out of a 2-hour video without having taken notes.
We know, we love your summaries. Everybody loves your summaries. Yeah.
I thought like maybe I should have taken notes. No, and I realized I remember everything. So I kind of, and this is something that I have realized that I have at the moment. So I could be watching something for work and then basically I'm more active listening, like how I used to be like many, many years ago, but obviously we tend kind of to leave those things. Obviously all the group work, meditations, I got, I don't know how many constellations. I thought, oh my God, I'm so lucky. Again, I'm the issue holder. So I felt like all these things obviously helped me realize things that I wasn't aware of. And, and I was so happy kind of to get all the help. So in terms of my business or what I got before we finished, I was told I was going to be on furlough. There are other people that are still furloughed, so I was going back to work. And I felt a bit sad, to be honest. I missed the whole, let's study, let's do this, let's meditate. Many things happen, like, people coming to me including you, kind of to discuss some potential like spiritual opportunities. You know, people ask me for interview or help kind of regarding that, and also people asking me to quote for my digital services. Not that anything happened, but I have also been approached for job opportunities. Not that I've, you know, but it's like, imagine like you're in this climate, and you know, people say, like, are you interested in this job role? So it's interesting. So, and it's funny because that job, not that I'm going to take it, is located in a building that I always thought it would be good to work there because it's kind of close to where I live.
Wow.
It's funny.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Yeah.
what I learned, or the things that I got out, my refractory period become close to zero. So
Wow.
to become like, frustrated, you know, and spend hours, you know, trying to recover and gain, you know, calm and peace. And now I notice that I go like, and I'm like, okay.
I remember you actually in the beginning of the games, you were talking about how frustrated you were, how angry you were. And you even in one of the reviews of the other games, you said that you felt competition with other players. So you were still in that competitive mindset. And you were saying, I need to post more or something. And I was like, really? I didn't understand it. That's why you were posting more. But actually, you really got out of that identity of basically being in competition or in anger. And definitely, you know, I remember that you said that with one of the businesses that you were in, it took you 6 months to have like a $40,000 deal or something. And then when you were in the Business Vortex game, you manifested it in 1 month. You know, so basically, but it was because you were so appreciating your work, you were so appreciating your clients, and basically it wasn't like, oh, I'm just doing this work here. No, you were appreciating it, right? You were just really starting to love it, and then you started appreciating you started manifesting all these other business opportunities that were things that you didn't even think about. Yeah, so very beautiful to see. And the next step is other things in your life. Other things.
Yeah. And also like Victoria said, compassion. For me, that was like, I used to compete and judge myself, and you know, being in competition and judgment. So a lot of what my intention was a lot compassion for myself and compassion for others. So then I guess creating for the bigger world instead of myself, also that allowed for me to be less selfish and kind of step out of my personality.
Great, amazing. And I think the compassion came because we were really teaching that we're all creating the world collectively. And if we judge governments, we judge what's going on, we can never actually raise ourselves to the higher level to actually basically anchor the new levels of consciousness into the world so that we can actually experience it, right? So and we had to have compassion for each of ourselves, but also for what the world was going through, but also for the people who are so-called fucking up our world. Basically, we had to have compassion for a lot of things. So yeah, beautiful, Anna. Thank you
Anna.
so much.
It's amazing to have you.
Okay.
And then we would like to go to Matthias. If you can turn your camera on.
I can. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Matthias. So nice to see you.
So the same opening question for you. How did your energy and focus shift as we were playing this game during these times?
Actually, I have to say before all this, let's say what happened to some people maybe during the lockdown. For me, it was much earlier. I was in fear, really in fear, since November the year before already, because my business didn't started to not going so well at that time, and so I was a lot in, like, say, worst case scenario thinking. I mean, of course, doing Dr. Cho work and having time periods where I'm really in trust and in love and joy, but huge part of my days were really in fear. And during the lockdown and playing this game, I learned to really what I heard from Abraham a lot of times, you know, just I didn't know how it should work, you know, focus on the energy and forget about the rest. And I mean, for me, the most important lesson at the beginning, at least, of this game was to just detach from my business and to, let's say, I mean, I would say I accepted the so-called worst case business scenario. You know? And
you weren't resisting it. You weren't resisting it. So you accepted it first, and then you started creating again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I knew at that time, okay, and something, if I mean, my business could grow, or something better could happen, you know. And so, and I focused, and I started focusing on, I mean, especially because we also had the Dr. Cho event. I mean, I felt like I was doing this game 24/7, you know, with all the videos. And I mean, I didn't just do three times a day appreciating. I was doing at least 12 times, I would say, you know, with the app. You know?
Wow.
And then later, when I found out about the releasing, I was combining it with releasing. So, I mean, and I had a baseline. I mean, I would not stop before 2050, you know, because 2050 for me is the easiest to know, because it's trust, you know. I mean, and it's and I kept doing it. I mean, if I check in and I feel I'm not in trust, I'm not stopping before I'm there. And I can also say my refractory period has become very short with the releasing and with the appreciation. It's really it's just a matter of 5 minutes, you know, to get to 250. And if I have to choose, like, doing a task, you know, a job task in, let's say, anger or even fear, or doing, I mean, appreciation, I don't think about it anymore, you know. It's just clear, okay. And if I have a bad day, okay, so I just do appreciation. I don't do any, you know, work tasks that don't need to be done, because what's the sense of it, you know?
So you actually, so basically you realize that the vibration or the level of consciousness we bring to any activity, especially our business, you know, or even our relationship with our spouses, or, you know, thinking about the future, creating strategies. If we come from the wrong level of consciousness, where we're not in receptive mode, but we're in the mind, in fear mode, we're in a program, it doesn't matter. So actually the real work is to actually get out of the program, to start to realize that we need to practice certain muscles and skills before it becomes a new default. And then we have to catch ourselves all the time trying to go back into the program, getting sucked into like, you're not busy enough, you need to do more of this. But actually, if you're not in the right state of mind, you could do it, but it wouldn't have the right results, right? Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And then, I mean, in the beginning, it felt so wrong, you know, it felt so wrong. I mean,
I'm guilty.
When I'm in fear, you know, and I should do it, this is urgent now, you know, it feels so wrong to just sit and, I mean, breathe and appreciate. But now, I mean, even, I mean, I have bad times still. I mean, I'm in fear, I'm in grief sometimes, but it doesn't feel wrong anymore. I mean, I know it at that time. I mean, there's a part of me knowing it now. That's, I mean, this is the feeling, okay. So, but now sit down. Now it's the time to release and to appreciate, and then you can continue. And if it's coming back in 20 minutes, okay. So it's time to sit down, and, you know.
Oh, beautiful.
You want to ask something?
Were there any things that shifted for your business, or like new ideas that came to you, or new inspiration, new downloads?
Oh, I manifested a guy. He came to me as a client, and then he wanted to work more with me. But I mean, money was an issue, and I knew that he was a filmmaker. So and I asked him, maybe he can help me to do 1 or 2 movies, you know. And now I mean, and he's in all this also, this kind of Abraham Hicks, and he knows about all this. And he said, Matthias, you should do a YouTube channel, and and he's now giving me classes in acting, you know, so that I can that I can do very good videos, you know?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And but this is of course something that will not give immediate, I mean, let's say, financial results, and this is something probably, let's say, 2 months before I would not be able to do it, you know, because I was too much in urgency mode, you know, and not able to, I mean, to implement something that might in a half a year or 1 year, you know, give I mean have a nice YouTube channel. But now I feel I can do it, you know.
Oh, amazing,
And
Matthias.
I mean, the most important thing I would say is, because when I made my mind movies about, let's say, all these business things, I always had in my mind, having a good time with my family, you know. I mean, having enough money to go on holidays and things, and having a good time with my family. And very often I was not able to have a good time with my family because I was so obsessed, you know, with this kind of, okay, how will I make it, you know?
No,
And
worry about your business, which is every self-employed person
exactly.
knows this.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's what shifted so much, you know. I mean, and that's what I'm enjoying so much, you know, coming home in the evening and just enjoying time with my son, you know, and being grateful and appreciating the time we have, you know.
Beautiful.
So beautiful. And what were the two things that the appreciation game helped you realize and solidify as a new alignment skill?
I'm still doing the appreciation. As I said, you know, I'm still doing it, and I'm much more aware about the David Hawkins scale. And as I said, still I'm 250 is the baseline, and I mean or even higher, you know, from the constellation. You know, I got, okay, willingness is important. I got a feeling about now what willingness is. And yeah, that's what I'm still taking and applying.
You might just, like, if you continue with us, you might just like go through love, because there's so much love in you. And I always knew, because I think you're a brilliant therapist, whatever you're going through is what you need to teach. You're given all of these panic attacks, whatever it is, as a blessing. Really. Yeah. So I think it's going to be really, really good. So thank you so much, Matthias. And we're going to go very quickly. We're going to show what the next game is about, because the next game is slightly different, because we now live in different times again. And so this is the thing, because Ellen and I work from downloads, we just actually we cannot always say what we're going to design, because we just really, sometimes the downloads come and then they're so clear, and that's what I need to do. So we're just gonna, we have so many amazing people giving us all these beautiful testimonials. We want to watch this testimonial. This is one of our entrepreneurs, and he's actually been, he teaches YouTube video marketing, etc. And he's very much into personal development. And then when he played the game with us, basically something tragic has happened in his family, but because of his high level of consciousness, he knew how to turn it around. But then something happened when he was playing the game. He started realizing that this was the perfect time for a specific project. And he basically became, for the first time in his life, he became excited about the project instead of thinking, oh, I'm not sure. And I think this is such a beautiful testimonial.
Hi, hello, here's Ralph from Berlin. This is a video for Angelique and Alan. I participated last month on their game, 28 day, the best case scenario, and I have to say it was fantastic. The effort and the time what they put in, that you get the best out of the game, is fantastic. Every day new challenges and always different things, so it's not boring. It's really helps you to develop to the best person what you ever can be and have the best case scenario. For me, it was really a good timing. It was shortly after my dad died, and it helped me so much to figure out my next step in my life, where to go, what to do. And one of the biggest things for me was to live the best case scenario every day and be happy where I am, what I'm doing, and also help me to prepare a new project for myself. And yeah, I highly recommend the two. They are fantastic. Also the appreciation game every day, to appreciate 3 times a day, and with the matching app in there. So it's a fantastic program. I highly recommend it. And when you have the possibility to work with them, do it. For me, it was every minute worth of my time. And yeah, I would do it right away again. Thanks, bye. And I hope you have a good time with Angelique and Alan.
So he's going to set up actually a German Dream Makers Academy. And he already had the URL for many, many years, but then he suddenly thought, okay, I'm now going to implement it. So our next game is not creating, it's waking up in your best case scenario. It's like, and waking up has two meanings. So waking up is like waking up out of the program, waking up of all the, you know, the identities, the problems, the fear and worries that we are inundated with, and actually waking up and then deciding I'm now going to be a vibrational match to the best case scenario. So again, the basics with basics, appreciate 3 times a day. And then what we're going to do is you get the accountability. When you do not post the 3rd time, you get thrown out of the vortex. There's a way to get back. But once you are out, you need to do something that we're going to give you a new assignment. There are at least 2 classes per week. So one class is very often theory and Q&A and basically people sharing. And another class is like to teach you a real new skill. And these skills are really very much based around energy work, group consciousness, and really working with the collective wisdom that is in the group. So everybody's downloading for each other, everybody's tapping into their intuitive wisdom and helping people transform their energy. So we work with these concepts of group entanglement and power of group intention because they're very real. We have noticed that people get entangled, and we have noticed that once one person gets a shift, that other person can really pick up that shift because they're in the same group. So apart from the 3 times a day appreciating, which is very simple, it's only for 68 seconds, you have the option, this is not something that's required, you have the option to basically do other assignments. And actually a lot of our players love the optional assignments because that is where you start creating the new neural networks. That is where people start seeing, oh my God, I thought I knew Abraham, I thought I knew law of attraction, but this teaching, the way that it's been collated day by day by day, it's creating a much more deeper understanding of really what law of attraction is, and that how it responds to our level of consciousness and how we intervene in all these different levels of being that we embody. So this time we're actually going to do work with Akashic Records. So that has to do with a holographic universe. We're going to do some more releasing. We meditate every day. We have some guest teachers coming in, and we're going to work with group intentions. We're going to explain the leverage and power of alignment. We're going to work again with the what we're vibrating. So the world responds to who you are, what you're vibrating 24/7. And also we're going to tackle identity and how we think, we feel, and we act. And so we're going to work through all these focus areas. So we're going to get people out of analysis paralysis and get them back into appreciation. Abraham Hicks says, when you're not appreciating, you're analyzing. And a lot of people try to create solutions from analysis, but actually when you're analyzing, you're still in the program. And so you're not tapping into divine guidance. So we're allowing people to really get out of the program by teaching them, by giving them a lot of assignments to choose better feeling beliefs and thoughts. We're going to do a lot of vibration work. We're going to really allow people to shift their vibration on any subject. And we're going to work with the law of non-resistance, because a lot of the time when people are not manifesting, it is because they're resisting what is, or they're resisting success. They're resisting actually what they think they want. So we have a lot of alignment skills, which we will also explain. And we're going to work with your superpower, because one of the alignment skills is your superpower, and we want you to really understand that. So, you know, this is a webinar that we're going to run in the weekend, actually. So, so that you actually really know what we're going to do. But we're going to work with shifting people out of trance, because I've been in trances a lot of my life. And because of Faster EFT, I understand what trance monkey states are. So we're going to teach you to recognize when you're in a trance and how to get you out of the trance and to become a vibrational match. And we're going to like really work with the I am, the identity programs. And then we're going to work with how your body is conditioned by all these programs and how you then get stuck in all these lower levels of consciousness. So we're going to have quite a different, and all these worksheets, we're going to work with all these new worksheets as well. Yeah, so it's going to be amazing. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to shift from just knowing it to actually doing it. And when you're doing it, you're daily, you're going to step in the unknown. You're going to cultivate courage and creativity. You're going to prune old neural networks because you're going to be building new ones, and you're going to build a new identity because you're practicing new skills, and you do it repetitively, and you do it in a group. So, and we're going to work with quantum entanglement because the group will be entangled. So we're really going to ask you to really entangle yourself with specific things. And we're going to consider the 100 monkey effect, which is what we're building in the group. There are several books that we're going to be studying again. You know, some of this we already tackled in the first lesson, but we're going to really start again with a new skill set. So week 1, we're going to go into identity and how we get stuck in identities. Week 2, we're going to look at triggers and how we get into trance states and how you get yourself out of it. Week 3 is very much about choosing better feeling beliefs, which really is a hard thing because we're so stuck in thinking in certain ways. It almost requires a lot of effort to choose better feeling beliefs because we are so entrenched in certain ways of believing things. So we need to shift that. And also week 4, we're going to really look at receiving downloads, how to receive downloads, how to trust downloads, and how to take inspired action. So yeah, so basically we really believe that, you know, the longer you stay with us, the more you're going to get the benefit of it. And so we have a 6-month program, which costs only €185 per month if you commit to the 6 months one. That's the cheapest program we have. If you cannot commit, you know, you could start with 333. It's all including VAT. If you have a business in another country, and you can actually get a VAT for your own country. So when you type in, when you buy the thing, you actually get your own the VAT in your country. And when you're outside of Europe, you don't even pay VAT. So that's a good thing. So the Australians and the Americans, etc., people outside of Europe. So when you want to commit to 3 months, you're going to get 30% discount. So, but we would actually say commit to the 6 months because you're gonna reap so many benefits, and the group is just so much fun. So yeah, I'm trying to see the specific link. So can you put the link in the chat, Ellen?
Yeah.
I cannot move it. It's not, okay, now. The appreciationgame.com/waking up in your best case scenario. Yeah. So, yeah, so basically we really want to be like the best companies in the world, which is, if this game is not right for you and you play 14 days without, you play full out, so you don't like procrastinate and you're not like, you know, not posting all the time because you're going to be thrown out anyways. But if you play 14 days and you think this is too hard for me, this game is way above my head, we're going to give you the money back immediately. And of course, all the 6 months game, the 3 months game, you pay in installments. But basically, you're letting us know, I'm committing to 3 months, I'm committing to 6 months. And, but, you know, if it should be wrong for you because of whatever, you can get your money back. We're not never going to question anything about it. But what we want to do is we really want you to commit for those 14 days so that you really can get a sense of what can shift. As some of the players said, sometimes the shifts come after 21 days. Sometimes you think, oh, this is not working, but actually it's working for you. Yeah. And a lot of our players have said, because you're doing the work, you actually see it working after a while, and then you don't want to stop. So, and then, when you join us for, before the next game start, we can offer you, so the next game starts Thursday evening, and Friday is the first assignment. So Thursday evening is the class. So when you start, we will give you the first month for free of the the Law of Vibration book and movie club. And so the first month, we're going to read this book, The Akashic Records Made Easy. And Akashic Records is a mind-blowing book. Ellen, what did you like about the Akashic Records? Because I just got to download, Ellen, we need to do Akashic Records. I don't even know why. And then you started reading it, and we were like, I can't stop reading the book.
Yeah, I mean, I've known about the Akashic Records for a long time, and I already read the book a long time ago, when like really long time ago, before I knew anything, I don't think. Yeah, what I love about it, it's like Google, but then you can access it wherever you want. It's like Google, but it's right here. I don't need a computer. It's like everything is there, past, present, future. It's all at the same time. Everything is there. Everything is possible.
We'll actually have to do a webinar about this, the book club. But the first month we're going to read this book, not the whole book, because we don't believe in consuming books. We don't believe in consuming knowledge. We believe in studying it. When we say study, that this is what this is our ideal client, we actually try to apply the teachings in your own life. So we don't let you read like five chapters a week without actually thinking about it. And this is really, the book club is really for people who think the appreciation game is too much maybe, but they just want to be in the book club. The book club has no accountability, but you can still, basically share ideas and learn a lot with us. And we're also going to watch a movie together every month. So the next movie, the first movie we're going to watch is the movie that is now free, actually. That movie is the movie of Carl Gray, and it's called The Illusion of Money. So I don't know whether you can post our little link here of our appreciation game website for people in the chat, Ellen. So the first movie we're going to watch is Carl Gray's Illusion of Money. I'm trying to find it. And really, it's an amazing documentary. And the next month, we're probably going to watch other movies, but it depends on download. So we actually don't know what's going to happen. But we do know that this book, The Akashic Records, is like a very interesting book. And it actually talks about our power in the now to affect the past and the future, and how all these quantum potentials of the future are affected by what you're doing now. And I think it's so important that we understand that we have so much power in the now, that even the past cannot limit your power right now. And I think that's why we want to study Akashic Records. Is there anything that I forgot, Ellen? Anything that I forgot to say?
No.
No?
No,
Yeah.
we have all the links. There's a link to the email list. So the network, you can sign up to the network and it's free. And then you can find out what we're up to and get the latest updates on because Jazz asked when the book club's starting. We don't have a date yet. So we'll let you know. All that information is always, we'll send it out through the email list, which you can sign up for. And we added to the group, the Appreciation Game Network as well.
Yeah. So, and if you are in this website, you can actually follow a lot of our postings. So we're creating a community here. But the players, they are actually in the special secret segment. And this is also where the book club will be. They're in the secret segment. And the secret segment, we will show you what it was for the last game. So you see here week 1, and you see, for instance, here's day 4. You see here, you are source energy, owning your divinity, the human embodiment, from victim to victor. And then you see everybody responding, everybody posting. And this is the most enlightening thing about the thing. You don't have to write essays, yeah? We're not telling you to write essays, but everybody is writing essays because they're so inspired, yeah? So, but you don't have to. You can literally just write, I did the assignment and I did the appreciation, or, but basically people just love posting it, but it's not required to write so many long texts. So, but I think what people are doing when they are really, when they are working with us, they are so extremely inspired that they want to share. Do you think, Ellen?
Yes, for sure. And also they're inspired by the content and of course the appreciation, but also each other. So
Yes.
when one person starts posting something vulnerable, then other people feel more inspired to post something vulnerable. And also we start to realize or find out after a while that a lot of people are going through the same types of things, or are manifesting similar things. So that's it's really fun to watch.
Yeah. So I'm getting the feeling that this Saturday, probably somewhere in the morning, I will be able to host a workshop, or Friday night or Saturday morning or something. So I'll be able to host an interactive workshop based on the next game. So when you don't know what it is, just listen in and just join in. And if you have any questions, let us know. Follow us on the Conscious World Club. This is our brand name. So if you follow us there, We also have a group there called Conscious World Club Attendees. So you can find that. There's a group that is run by us. And yeah, we hope to see you there. We want to thank you for all your attention. I'm going to stop sharing.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. So lovely to see you all here, and for our beautiful players sharing. And I learned new things from you again. Even though I already learned so much from you, I realized there's more that I didn't know yet. So thank you so much.
Sorry, when does this start?
Next week, Thursday evening is the first
Thursday.
class.
What time?
9 p.m. CET, so that's 8 p.m. UK time.
And is it just one day a week that you meet?
We have bonus classes. So because of the lockdown, we could do the bonus classes during the day. But because everything is going more back to usual, we might have to run the bonus class in the evening or in the weekend. Yeah.
Okay.
So this game, we think now we need to do 2 classes per week. So, but dependent on what's going on. So let's say there's lots of people going through a lot of like stuff, which will initiate as an extra bonus class. Depends on what we feel. So we're really tuning into the energy of the group. During lockdown, we did a lot of bonus classes because there was so much panic in the collective, and we were just like, oh my God, let's do something about it, and it really helped the collective, our group, and I think we were doing the work for a lot of for the collective world, if you know what I mean, because yeah, we were all feeling the shifts happening, and that's why. Actually, one of the testimonials we had from one of the people that she's not here, but she actually said in the beginning she was triggered a lot by every news, like everything she read, she was being triggered and she didn't know what to believe. And now she can actually observe all the news and she doesn't get triggered because she knows, oh, I'm still going to create my reality. And I think it's so powerful when you come from that knowing that your level of consciousness can actually create a stable future for humanity and for the world.
Yeah,
that is really what we're teaching.
I got caught up in that too, because like, wake up people, look at what's going on. And I was creating more tension that way and just allowing people to be in their own reality.
Absolutely.
And be loving. And it took me a while to get there, but yeah.
It took me a while as well. I was sending messages to my partner who really got freaked out. And and then I realized you never ever send it, you never ever try to convince somebody. And actually there's an Abraham Hicks video about that as well, and a Matt Kahn video. So we started getting all these teachers telling us, you don't try and convince everybody, everybody's on their level. Yeah. And we need to stop the spiritual pride anyways, because a lot of the people that are so-called awake, we have a lot of spiritual pride, and spiritual pride keeps us in a level of where we're not manifesting because we're still judging people. And but the thing is, there are no other people. They're all mirrors of us, and we're all doing the work together. Thank you so much. How did you find us?
Anna.
Oh, Anna. Thank you, Anna. Yeah.
I missed out on the first game, though. It looked like I could have really done with it. Help there.
With the business one?
With the first game, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're going to work on your business here as well. No worries. You're going to love it. This game is going to be so game-changing. It's like Ellen and I literally had to adjust the way we communicate with each other because we're already practicing it. So Ellen and I are doing everything differently because we're downloading this game. Can you say a little bit more, Ellen, about what we're doing, which is so different?
About what we're doing?
What we're going to practice in the next game, like calibration.
Calibration, yeah. Yeah, we're not going to be mesmerized by the reality anymore. We have both come to the full stop realization that we're done. It's over. We're only going to create. So it's yeah, we're feeling super motivated.
Yeah, so we've been watching a lot of the Abraham Now videos because I got them because I went to Abraham Hicks last year and I was subscribed to. I'm going to Abraham Hicks again when they come to Amsterdam in a few months' time. And we got all these videos. Every 3 days they have a video, and we watched the video about calibration. And calibration is actually filling in your grid. And Abraham was teaching us that when you calibrate to reality, you create more of reality. And actually, we realized we don't want to create more of the reality we don't like. We're just going to calibrate to what we want. We calibrate to vortex. So that is really what the next game is about. So if you can attend the interactive little workshop that we're going to run this weekend, yeah, it's going to be really fun.
No, so, I do want to attend on this weekend. So you put out a post?
I haven't yet, because this is the thing. I'm just like, I'm just having fun building a business. I don't put any pressure on myself. So when I feel like it, I'll create it, right? But I know I feel excited now, so I'm going to create it. But yeah, no, we were busy doing this, and then we're going to do the next thing, and then we're going to do. But we're already like, Ellen and I have so many projects right now, but it's all coming from excitement. Yeah. So yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Where are you based?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Marianne Johnson. I just realized that my name was, I just used my initials there, but I did send you a PM. I am in Michigan right now. I had been in Seattle and came to Michigan while the world was locking down, and the job and the place I had to stay both disappeared. And it's been a real interesting ride.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm very grateful that you invited me to your group.
Oh, yeah. So you can create something new, definitely.
I have to, because I'm stuck right now. And you know, and what I love about your presentation as well is, you know, every person you mentioned, from Neville Goddard to Esther Hicks to Kyle Cease, I've studied all of them. I've read many of their books or been to workshops. Matt Kahn, Dr. Joe Dispenza, I've been to 14 of his, obviously. That's how we hooked up. And so I have a lot of faith and trust in everything that you're saying. And it's like, you know it, but you can still fall off the wagon sometime. And
I still fall off the wagon, you know. I swear to God, I bought a whole refrigerator during lockdown. I was so scared. I bought a whole freezer. Oh, seriously. So I was scared. I just thought we're not going to have enough food. I didn't buy toilet rolls, so I
did the toilet rolls.
I bought a huge freezer. So yeah, so the thing is, like, it's going to be a blessing, and you know, and we just want to say, people that are having issues, financial issues, we can always create a payment plan, or, you know, give you a scholarship or anything. But we do believe that you're going to create money. So you're going to create money because everybody's creating money with this game. So if you cannot afford it for whatever reason, we can do an installment plan so that you have an investment, or we can hook you up with our affiliate scheme so that you bring in other people. We give 20% of the revenue to the people that are here. So that will help people as well to maybe pay for the course. Because once you're in the game, you're going to be entangled with the group, and you're going to be creating, you know, and it's not expensive. And it's really, we want you to succeed. That is our biggest joy.
In US dollars, how much is that?
I think that if you commit to the 6 months one, is 185 euros. I don't know how many US dollars it is.
I'll do the conversion. You posted all of this in the group, right?
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah,
because I hate to admit it, but I'm, you know, being honest. I mean, when I left Washington, everything just kept lining up, boom, 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 boom. I mean, ideally, you know, everything that ended up happening wasn't supposed to happen, and literally happened when I was driving from Washington to Michigan, because it wasn't locked down yet, but it was the self-quarantine. And then just everything fell apart. And I am literally sitting in a Airbnb type place in Sawyer, Michigan. And granted, it's a beautiful nature area, but it's not like the nicest house, and, you know, it needs to be cleaned and this and that. And I'm just like, oh, how'd I end up here? You know, and just, but again, grateful for the fact that the man was able to turn it around for me very quickly, because it wasn't ready. And, you know, he took care of a lot of things. So it got me out of a hotel, because I couldn't keep staying in a hotel. It was costing me a fortune, and I don't have any income, and I haven't had any income for a while. So I'm just like, oh boy. So we
have to turn around this picture. And also what I notice is just be grateful and appreciative of everything you have now.
Even if I don't like it, explain that to me.
Appreciating contrast brings in solutions. It's a golden rule. If you resist what you're creating, you're going to create more of it. So
well, that's what I'm doing.
That's all these laws. So that's why law of non-resistance is going to be a big game changer in our game. because we want to remember everybody that they are creating everything through their vibration and through their consciousness and through their judgment. And as you've heard from Victoria and from, you know, people like Anna or other people here, you know, we can have a lot of self-judgment. We can judge the external world or judge ourselves or judge our circumstances, but we create more of it. So once we start appreciating them, things will turn around. But you need to make it a chronic habit.
Let me ask you this, because I've been trying to do that and trying to find the things I like. But let's just say, for example, I resent the heck out of the fact that I have to clean this house. It's way too big and it's very dirty. And I'm just like, how do I want to frame that to say, I appreciate the fact that I have the opportunity to clean? Is that how I want to say it? Or like, how do I?
No, Abraham would say start appreciating things that are easy. So we don't want you to be fake, right? But once you start shifting your vibration to actually the things that are easy to appreciate, you will feel your vibration rising. Because right now you can only accept, believe, and surrender to the state of consciousness that you're in, which is maybe frustration, or maybe anger, or maybe a victimhood,
frustration, big time.
Yeah. So, and once you're there, you can never go to a higher level by staying there. So you need to find the easiest way to appreciate. So I don't know what it is that you appreciate. You could maybe
I appreciate a lot of things. Yeah, I do. I do have a list.
So once you start appreciating, your energy will go up, and then you're going to get new downloads about what you can do. And this is the thing, but you need to make it a consistent chronic habit, overriding the way that you're now habitually resisting things. And you are human, Marianne. All of us are resisting things. All of us, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. But then we keep the manifestation. And this is what the players are getting. The players are really understanding in our game that what you resist persists, because you're creating it. So whether you want it or not, you're going to start appreciating it because you see other people manifesting things. They're going to think, hey, I want to do that too. So it's really, you know, there's something around us understanding that if it's not working, it's us.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. I mean, I know these things.
Victoria wants to share something. Victoria says, Victoria, save us. Save Marianne.
Hi. So it's Mariam. It's Victoria. It's really close to my heart story because since I was a little girl, I used to hate clean anything or wash dishes. Hated to do like anything. And then when I had no choice but do it, I was thinking, okay, so why do we clean house? Because we want it to be clean and beautiful. And I love to be in a beautiful house. So I shifted my consciousness and my attention from process of cleaning to the result of clean, beautifully smelling house. And it changed everything for me. Because I wasn't thinking, oh, I need to clean. I was thinking, oh my God, my house is going to look so beautiful. I can relax, how it makes me feel, bring fresh flowers. It's less dust. So it's just all of this I was picturing when I was cleaning, and I just couldn't stop afterwards.
You know, and that's a great share. Thank you. Because I've been trying to just stay focused on the fact that it was available, and it got me out of the hotel. And so I wasn't paying as much money because it's not cheap, but it was available and it was furnished. And I just resented the fact that it was the price it is, and then I have to come in here and clean it, and it's pretty dirty. I mean, and I'm just like, oh God.
I know the same. Whenever we go to an Airbnb and it's not clean, we are resentful. Like I'm the same, because we expect hotel standards, right?
Yes, because I lived in hotels all my life. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, thank you.
But maybe there is an opportunity here. The thing is, we need to gain awareness of what our consciousness, how it affects our reality. So when you choose to resist something that could be, let's say, with a little shift in mind, with a little attitude change, could be a complete different, it's like me hearing you say, I have to do a commute, but I hate the commute.
Right.
What's the point of that, right? Or I need to meditate to like be calm, but I hate meditation. Like, what's the point of that? Then we need to look at our victim and saboteur. Do you see what I mean? And so this is why we're going to have guest teachers talking about victim and saboteur, because we need to understand all the different advantages of staying stuck. Because that is really where our shadow works comes in, right?
Yeah.
Because you know all the books that I read. Why are you not shifting? Because there's an advantage to not shifting. And maybe this is where we need to be really honest, you know, and this is why doing the work every day will make us wake up to like, why am I sabotaging myself?
Right.
And all of us are guilty of that.
And I've been doing it ever since I got here. The job fell apart and stuff because of the laws. And then the place to stay was tied to the job. And I hadn't signed a contract. It was a handshake deal with a friend. And, you know, but it wasn't his fault or anything. And he, you know, it is what it is. You had to just accept it. And then I shifted, you know, I had to, you know, move around a couple of times and this and that. I have a little dog that's a little older. And I know that, you know, I'm like, I woke up this morning and I did Botex 7. And because I've been drinking too much wine, kind of escaping reality, if you will. And I'm like, no, this stops today. And I did Botex 7 when I got up. I'm able to go to acupuncture. So I did that today. And I just said, you know, I can't continue to project on this dog because I've had to take him to the vet twice since I've been here. And I'm like, I bet my consciousness has something to, because, you know, I'm so entangled with the dog.
You are. Remember that Greg Braden story where his mom's dog had like a tumor? Or then he said, his intuition said, Mom, you need to get checked. And his mom also had a tumor.
Yep.
And I had bosses that I worked with and they always bought horses that were sick. And I thought, this has nothing to do with the horse. They are having something, you know, so. But anyways, I really want you to think about, you know, maybe what is the advantage of being stuck and just forgive yourself, because a lot of us get stuck there, but you don't have to. You can turn it around today. You can turn it around tomorrow. But yeah, we have a lot of videos actually on Conscious World Club where you can actually see a lot of our webinars. Maybe they will inspire you to really see how what you're not applying. You know it, but you're not applying it.
Oh, I'm not. I mean, because if you drink too much wine, you don't meditate well. And, you know, I'm a Dr. Joe, you know, big student of his. And it's like sometimes that then affects, you know, the drinking then affected other things. And I'm like, you got to cut this out. You just got to cut this out. Yeah. All you're doing is escaping.
Escaping is not good. You shouldn't escape a reality if you can't create it. So you're stuck in an identity or a survival mechanism that was serving you, but maybe it's not serving you anymore.
Oh, it's not serving me at all. No,
it's not serving the world that needs you as well, because the world
you know
needs
what?
you.
That's the download. I don't get like super duper downloads, but the more intuitive. And when I was doing the Botex 7 this morning, what came through to me was, I need you. The world needs you, you know, kind of like.
That's not a coincidence that I said it then. Yeah.
Right.
So
thank you.
So we're going to go now because Ellen needs to go to her daughter. I want to thank you everybody for being here. Hope to see you at the taster class or see you in our book club or see you in one of our other webinars. We're going to have so much fun with new people that we're going to work with and collaborate with. So we want to thank you all for being here. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Stay in the vortex. Bye-bye.